Well, hey guys, and welcome back. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Jessica Leichtweisz. I'm the CEO of Hope Education Services. I partnered with Dr. Katie May. We became the behavior voices of ABA Mindset. We became the behavior voice bosses. We've been putting out webinars every day to go through the task list 5, doing 5 mock questions, giving you some questions and some explanations of answers. Yesterday, we did have a problem with the recording, so we had promised everyone the link. So if you were there, we re-recorded this for you, and this time Dr. Katie was able to be here, which is awesome. And if you're watching this for the first time, you don't know what we're talking about, but we have 5 questions for you and 5 answers for task list C of the 5th edition task list, which is on measurement, data, display, interpretation.
All right, you guys, let's dive right in. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Catherine May, and I've paired up with Jessica to be here with you guys today and go through these webinars. So question 1, Larry, a BCBA, was working with his client, Sandra. Sandra was working on programs nicely during sessions and making wonderful progress. Larry plotted her summative data on a cumulative record to provide a visual representation of her progress for her family and RBTs to review. In the scenario, what did Larry do wrong? All right, guys, so it says here in the scenario, what did Larry do wrong? Well, our buzzword here is summative data. He put summative data on a cumulative record, so he chose the wrong graphic display of data. As we know, cumulative would not represent summative data, a bar graph would. So if it's summative, or if you're trying to show comparisons, then you can use a bar graph, not a cumulative record. So A would be incorrect, as we're saying he did nothing wrong. B is correct. C, he should have used the line graph. That would be incorrect because we're going to use a line graph, yes, to display progress and our raw data, but not if we're using summative data. And Larry should show the family and RBT his raw data. That's incorrect, right? Because RBTs and family members are going to have trouble viewing raw data. That's why it's our ethical responsibility as BCBAs to ensure that our raw data is represented on a graphical display.
Okay, perfect, guys. Let's look at number 2. Linda, a BCBA, is working with a new client, Thomas. She collects indirect data indicating that his problem behaviors occur during mealtime around 6 p.m. She wants to further investigate, so she plans to return and take descriptive ABC data during her next visit. In doing so, she arrives at 5 p.m. to take data. Her timing was incorrect as she was taking data during a non-meal time. This data would most likely cause which of the following? A, measurement artifacts, B, measurement drift, C, observer drift, sorry guys, Z, and D, observer reactivity. So this answer here is going to be measurement artifact, right? Because a measurement artifact is when it makes it look like a behavior either occurred or didn't occur because of the way you're recording it. So here the data is not valid, right? She's there at the wrong time. And by being there at the wrong time, she's creating an artifact with the data she's recording. So measurement drift is often associated with observer drift. This is the idea that you start measuring one behavior and you wind up changing the way in which you're doing that measurement, right? Then, so that would be really more of an error in collecting data. And then observer reactivity is when a person changes their behavior because they know they're being watched and data is being taken. So that is not the answer either.
Question 3, Matthew is a BCBA working with a client who hums very loudly during certain activities during the day. During bingo, he hummed for 3 minutes. During movie time, he hummed for 7 minutes. And during snack time, he hummed for 5 minutes. What is the average duration of humming? So here you don't want to leave out average, right? You might simply be able to get the duration by adding up 3 minutes, 7 minutes, and 5 minutes. Right? But that would not bring you to the average. That would just bring you to the duration. So you then want to take those 3 numbers and divide them by 3 because that's the amount of numbers you have. And that will bring you to the correct answer of D, which is 5 minutes. Your other answers are incorrect because they would reveal not taking the average duration.
Okay, perfect. Let's look at 4. Caitlin, a BCBA, is going into the classroom to observe little Billy and his challenging behaviors. The teacher tells Caitlin to come in and observe at 2 p.m. Caitlin observes and notices that there are no challenging behaviors to observe. She later finds out that Billy usually engages in problematic behaviors between 12 to 1. In this scenario, what is lacking? This is really something to memorize because I've seen people debate this question, but the answer that you're going to be correct when you're taking your exam is validity. When you're recording behavior, when you're observing a behavior at a time when that behavior typically doesn't occur, that is by definition considered invalid. So it is accurate, right? Because accuracy is just matching the true value. If the behavior didn't occur and you say it didn't occur, it is accurate. Reliability, there's not anything here indicating you took more than one data measure, so reliability can't be the answer. And reciprocity really has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It was just thrown in there to throw you off.
Now let's take a look at question 5. An SD is presented, and 3 seconds later, Mickey engages in SIB behavior for 5 seconds. 2 seconds later, he engages in SIB behavior for 6 seconds. 2 seconds later, the cycle repeats as this pattern of behavior continues. What is the interresponse time of the first and second behavior? So again, you want to dive into here and make sure you're looking for the time in between 2 consecutive behaviors. So when the SD is presented and 3 seconds later, Mickey engages in behavior, those 3 seconds are latency. Then we see 5 seconds. Well, that's how long, that's the duration. But 2 seconds later, our interresponse time, he engages in SIB behavior again. So your answer here is B, 2 seconds. And A, C, and D would be incorrect as they're not representing the consecutive time in between 2 behaviors.
Well, perfect, guys. This was what we had prepared for you. These are the 5 questions from the task list C. If you want to know more about the 5th edition task list, we put a beautiful course together for you. You can learn more about it at tasklist5.com. We give you 2 full mocks. There were thousands of questions, literally at least 1,000 questions, maybe hundreds of questions. I might be exaggerating, but there's a lot of questions just like these in our course. You're going to get videos for every part of the task list. And it's really going to help you to break down the 5th edition task list. Katie and I worked really hard on it. We really want to see you pass your BCBA exam. So check that out at tasklist5.com and just watch more of these videos. There's more just like this right here on the YouTube channel. If you want us to make a video for you, drop a comment in the chat below and we will answer your questions. If you had any questions about this topic, put it there and we will be in there answering them. We'll see you guys on the next video.